Brothers and sisters, you know I am always talking about staying hydrated. We got to get those B vitamins in. I always walk with something to drink, and I encourage you to do the same thing, especially as we creep into the summertime. Well, I want to let you know that our friends over at Liquid IV have a new energy multiplier. And get this, it's sugar-free, no jitters energy with a hydration first formula designed to keep you going without the crash. The wonderful flavor that they have right now is lime margarita. And certainly, you know, I couldn't get through Duke Loves Wrestling if I'm crashing. I got to stay up. I got to stay hydrated. Most importantly, got to stay focused. And certainly that's what Liquid IV can do for you, just like it does for me. But don't take my word for it. If you haven't ordered at liquidiv.com before, head over there. You're going to save 20% when you use the promo code REFRESH. REFRESH. Now, if you're a veteran of Liquid IV, meaning that you've partaken in some of the wonderful codes that we've run through the years, then as always, use the promo code Duke Loves Wrestling. You'll save your traditional 10%. I just want everybody to be hydrated. I want you to have safe energy. Most importantly, I want you to have a good time. So please visit liquidiv.com, use those promo codes, save some money, stay hydrated, and now let's get back to Duke Loves Wrestling.
Knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great. Tables, ladders, chairs, they tell it all. From the highest highs to the lowest fall. Great and glory tales from the ring. Every chant, every cheer they'll bring. Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Devon The Duke podcast. We are the 3-time award-winning podcast that, for some reason, keeps going viral. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I, the Duke, was able to motivate one of the biggest stars in the NBA today, Wemby. He was so concerned about the fact that I will cross him up, that I will dunk on him, that he had to make it to the NBA Finals. And I guess his plan is to defeat the Knicks because he knows I'm not a Knicks fan, unlike my co-host. So I guess his plan is to defeat the Knicks to somehow pacify me so I don't have to bring him out there on the court and straighten him out. And Wemby, I want you to know that I know what your plan is, and I'll go along with that. If Wemby and the Spurs defeat the Knicks, then I will back off and I will not embarrass him on the court, despite the fact that he's 2 feet taller than me. I will not embarrass him out there. Wemby, I will allow you to maintain your reputation as a big-time basketball player. I won't beat you in ball if you win the championship. All right, so I want to make sure I get that out of the way. Without further ado, the Hall of Famer, Devon Dudley. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. You know, the late, great Rick James once said, cocaine's a hell of a drug. He also stated that crack was the best thing that happened to him. And after hearing what you just said, I'm beginning to believe that might be true. That crack, boy, it's a powerful drug. And you know, turning coke into crack and crack into coke and vice versa. Boy, you playing with the devil there. That's the only logical way I could think of you saying this. I thought it was worse when you were talking about Cody Rhodes, but now it's confirmed.
I done lost my mind.
Completely.
Listen, I need you to call Paul Heyman and tell him to get me on the creative team, because clearly I know how to tell a good story now. Come on now. You know,
Well, the difference between nonfiction and fiction, I think you're a little lost there in realizing what is what. And it's okay. And I get it. And I understand, because everybody falls short somewhere or another. But you seem to have fallen short big time. And I'm going to let that go because maybe I didn't know, but maybe you did get in the ring at one point in time. Maybe you did get dropped once or twice, which is okay. I mean, Lord knows I've been dropped many a time, so I get it.
oh my God. Listen, they gonna run me out of town over this, boy. Well, congratulations to Wemby and the Spurs for making it to the finals. Your guy, Brunson, and the Knicks, they've been waiting. They've been waiting for this. And Brunson's a big wrestling fan. So I know that you're a New Yorker. Even though that your adopted home is Florida now, I know that you're a New Yorker. So what do we say? Who's going to win the NBA Finals, and how many games is it going to take to get there?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm hoping and praying that the Knicks can take it in 5, maybe 6. Hopefully, it doesn't go to a game 7. Um, I think if the Knicks play the way they've been playing, defense as well as scoring, hitting those threes were very important. And I'm be honest with you, I was shocked and surprised that they swept Cleveland. I expect Cleveland to win one game, but to actually sweep them, that caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at all. But it is what it is. It happened. And now we move on. Now, the thing that bothers me, and I brought this up to somebody, they had a lot of time off. They had a lot of time off. And I don't know if that could hurt them or it could help them because we all know, leading up to it, there were a couple of Knick players that were injured and, maybe the time off kind of helped them. With the way technology is now and the way things are in terms of recuperating and recovering and all of that, this could be a good thing for the Knicks, but it could also hurt them being off as much. Now, with the Spurs, they're coming off of this win. It's a hot win. Nobody thought that they would be able to beat the Thunder because everybody was saying that the Thunder had the refs in their pockets and doing what they were doing. But at the same token, whenever the Thunder got down in the fourth quarter, and it could have been 3 minutes left down by 20, they always seem to make it back. But hopefully that doesn't happen with San Antonio and the Knicks. Hopefully the Knicks can pull it out. We'll see what happens. The last time that I remember um, the Knicks going to the finals was when they played Houston, the year Jordan left and went to go play baseball. And we all thought that we were going to get it and this and that. So, and it didn't happen. Akeem Olajuwon and them, they destroyed us and we actually lost. I thought that was our only hope and prayer to making it to the NBA finals and winning it because Jordan was gone. Now, there is no player that can match Jordan. So, not one man is going to be able to destroy a whole team the way Jordan did back during his era. So, we'll see is if the Knicks come and play as a unit, if they hit their threes the way they're supposed to, hit their foul shots, and they play good defense, the Knicks probably got a chance to win the NBA championship.
Yeah, I think that the Knicks they're so red hot right now that the Spurs are really going to have to step it up. The way that they've played so far in the playoffs, you can't bring that to New York. It ain't gonna work.
No, you can't. You cannot, and that's
No,
the problem. They have to make sure that they come correct. Listen, not one person can come and have a good night. Everybody has to have a good night. Everybody's got to know their role and play it.
damn right. Know your role. You don't have to shut your mouth, but you better know your role. And that's why Wemby,
By all
you better
means,
know
don't
your
shut your
role
mouth.
because Wemby, if you don't get it done, you're gonna deal with the Duke. All right. I'm not far from New York. Just bring your tall self over here, boy, and come get it. We can play ball at one of the parks here in Boston. I'm thinking Almont Park in Mattapan, so all my people can see it. We could play ball out here. I will get the pump up kicks, the Reeboks. Okay, I'll pump it up like I'm Joe Budden, and we'll straighten it out. I'm just going to tell you right now, brother. So you better win, or else. All right, and Devon's going to be there to cheer me on. So don't play games. That's right. That's
Listen,
right.
I just want you to put the pipe down. Stop smoking during the show. Really, I mean, I can only do so much. I can only give so much advice.
Hey,
And
hold on.
that pipe is killing you right now. I'm just
Hold on.
saying.
You mean to tell me you never had the homeboy who would talk y'all into a fight and then you got to actually handle the business? You never had that? Come on now.
Yeah, I dealt with him for 25 years, Bubba. Point in case, that's why I know how to handle you.
That's it. I was gonna say you're a little too good at your role on this one because you ain't getting into no kind of shoot with nobody. You leave me out here on my own now.
25 years of dealing with that man. I know how to deal with it.
Well, at least you know whether it's New York or Boston, we all the same. All right, come on.
You see, that's where you're wrong.
Uh oh. Uh
Nope.
oh. Uh oh.
New
Uh oh.
York and Boston is not the same. We're still enemies.
That's right. That's why you gonna let that boy dunk on me. Listen, I know what's going on here. You setting me up. You done gave me all kind of courage here. Oh Duke, it's so great. We win awards and stuff, man. You do a good job. You done gave me my confidence, and now you're gonna leave me out there to hang out to dry, huh? I see what's going on.
No, not at all.
I see what's going on.
I feel, listen, I want to be there with the video, taking videos of you going up for a dunk and never leaving your feet.
How about the graphic for the episode last week? I had to put the tongue out like Jordan too. And you see Wemby's in the graphic. He just standing there with his arm up. Yeah. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Hey, what's this I hear about you going to be out there by Niagara Falls this weekend? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm going to be at the Niagara Falls Comic Con Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bubba and myself
Wow.
will be there signing autographs, taking pictures with the great fans of Canada, and really enjoying ourselves. I love going to Canada. I love the scenery of Canada. Every time I go to Canada, it's just really a great time for me. It's different because it's like, even though a lot of people consider Canada part of the United States, like here, and some Canadians do too consider themselves part of the United States, but to me, it's a home away from home, if that makes any sense. And go and seeing the different people in Canada and seeing how they are compared to Americans, totally different. And I love it. I love going out there. The people are genuine. They're great. They're responsive. And when they come out, they come out. They come out in droves. So I'm really looking forward to Niagara Falls Comic Con this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, Bubba and myself will be there, the Dudleys, and we'll be able to be there and interact with you. And not only that, but the questions that you might not have been able to ask us online or what have you, or you've never gotten it done. Now is the opportunity to come down and get it done. I'm gonna be having t-shirts down there, old school ECW style t-shirts. The ones that we wore in ECW, as well as the first 6 months of WWE. I have hats that say Testify, black hats. You can check it out on my Instagram um, site. It's called Devon Dudley merch page on Instagram, and you can check it out. And if ever you see anything on the merch page that you like, just DM us, and we'll be able to answer whatever questions you have about the merchandise. And if you want it, we can send it to you. As many T-shirts and hats as you want, and we have more merchandise coming.
I love it. I love that. And I got to tell you folks out there in Niagara Falls, you were so lucky because the folks in St. Augustine, Florida, the River City Wrestling Con is happening down there this weekend as well. And they are completely upset about the fact that the Dudley boys chose Canada over coming back to St. Augustine. So I'm just telling you folks out there, man, you don't upset the Floridians down there. You guys stole the Dudley boys. You're gonna have a good time. Devon's gonna get the tables up there. So definitely come out and check out the Dudley boys and have a good time. Certainly the wonderful merchandise that they'll have. Devon uh, has some special things for you. So that's pretty cool. Um,
And remember, whenever you're in doubt and you get upset and get mad, always blame Duke.
yeah, thanks. That's all I need. That's all. Why they got to blame the smallest guy in the room? You know what I mean? Spike Dudley might have an inch or two on me. The smallest guy in the room, you're going to blame me. I see what's going on here.
You're the smallest guy with the biggest mouth.
Wait a second. Bubba got a big mouth, though. So hold on. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Bubba's a big man with a big mouth. You're like Spike Lee. You're exactly like Spike Lee when the Indiana Pacers were going to lose that game, and Spike Lee kept edging on and aggravating Reggie Miller, where he scored, I think, 4 or 5, or maybe I think it was 6 3-pointers in a row, back to back, and wind up causing the Knicks the game. They might have won the series during that, but I remember the Daily News on the front cover which says Spike Lee, sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Leave that man alone. Don't add. We had never seen anything like that before, where Reggie Miller scored 6 3-pointers in 3 minutes. I mean, less than 3 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was like under a minute and a half he scored that.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Hmm.
You keep talking. I'm gonna have Spike Lee come on here and straighten you out. Keep it up. Keep it up. You know,
Listen,
Spike.
even Spike said, "I'm sorry." So Spike knew. Don't piss off Reggie Miller, especially when he has a hot hand. Don't do that.
Exactly. So we'll see how the finals go this year, though. It's exciting. Um, I am pulling for the Knicks. I'm not going to lie. I am pulling for the Knicks. I think it's time. So hopefully they get that done. Speaking of getting it done, I was talking to Leilani Kai, one of the biggest legends still alive, and someone who legitimately is so important to WWE history. She was part of the first WrestleMania. She was part of the brawl to settle it all. She was there for all of that stuff, and even going all the way down to WrestleMania 10 when she took on Medusa. This is somebody who she's paved the way for women's wrestling, and behind the scenes she's done so much as well. But she told me that she loves Devon Dudley and that she spent some time with you and you were talking to her and you showed her so much respect and you even held her hand as you were talking to her. And she said, it was so shocking because Devon is such a big star and he was treating me like I'm a big star. And it was just, I was surprised he even knew who I was. And I was like, Leilani, you were in the semi-main event at the first WrestleMania. Like, we literally grew up watching you. Like,
Here's the thing: the WWF and WWE loves to forget the people that have come before them, and it's like they don't put them on a high pedestal like they should. When I saw Leilani Kai this year at WrestleMania, I was just fascinated when I saw her because I was probably 12 years old when I first saw Leilani Kai. And, I was a big fan of hers then, her and Judy Martin. And when the Jumping Bomb Angels came from Japan and came to the
mm,
WWF and did that first Survivor Series, blew my mind. I had never seen women move like that before in my life. The Jumping Bomb Angels, I would react the same way if I met them. I couldn't stop praising Leilani Kai because of everything that she did for the business and the company at that time. And a lot of women should know who Leilani Kai is because if it wasn't for her, people like Leilani Kai, Judy Martin, Sensational Sherry, Medusa, Mae Young, without these women, you would not have women wrestling the way it is now. And I'm sorry, but for those that don't know those names, you need to be ashamed of yourself because those are the women that paved the way, not only for women, but for men. So when I met her and saw her, you're damn right I bowed down to her because it was no different than bowing down to somebody like Bruno Sammartino. She's put in that same category when it comes to women's wrestling. She deserves her flowers. And as much as she did for this business, you're damn right I'm going to treat her with respect.
That's a common theme with you, man. Even all the way to the beginning when we first started this show, the way you talked about the Wild Samoans and so many people, the way you talk about Ron Simmons, the just I can go down the line. You always honor the legends, and that says a lot about you, and not only who you are as a person, but the fact that you're secure in your own legacy to be able to spotlight other people. I respect that. I respect that
Thank
a
you.
lot, man. Because you're absolutely right. Leilani Kai, like it's the fact that she was fascinated that the Devon Dudley would treat her that way, and I'm sitting there saying, "Lady, you're literally like you, how many other people even in the room are a bigger deal than somebody who actually was in the semi-main event at the first
When I
WrestleMania?
spoke to her, when I
Like,
spoke to her at WrestleMania, and I told her, I said, it was such an honor to meet you, number one. But number two, I was so happy when you were sitting at SmackDown and they announced you and the ovation that you got from people sitting in the audience. That made me happy. She said, I didn't think people remembered me or let alone know who I was. I was like, you're Leilani Kai, one half of the greatest women's tag team in the history of this business. They need to know who you are because without you, there would be no Alexa Bliss. There would be no Rhea Ripley. There would be no Charlotte Flair. There would be none of them if it wasn't for a woman like Leilani Kai.
absolutely. So, Leilani, we love you. There's Devon doing it again, making sure that he gives you your just due because you earned it, you deserve it. And anyone who doesn't treat you that way, there's something wrong with them, as you heard Devon say. So that's good stuff there. And shout out to our friends at River City Wrestling Con. I'm putting it on the record right now because I don't want Devon to run away here. We need to steal you from Canada for next year, bro. You got to come back to River City Wrestling Con next year. All right, our friends in Canada, you know, we might have to have a bidding war over this because we need Devon back. Can't be stealing Devon and Bubba away like that. Damn it,
You tell
jeez,
Nick,
know
you
what's
tell
going on.
Nick, I will more than happy to forget Canada in a respectful way, come back to Florida for about $100,000.
Well, why are you underselling yourself? I thought you were going to say 1 million. What
Well,
happened
I
there?
could say 1 million, but we all know that that's not reasonable. So I'm not even going to go that high. I'll stick with the 100,000 because I know Nick can afford that.
That's the brother rate right there, right? That's the brother rate.
Listen, between that and getting the tables, that's definitely the brother rate.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Nick, you heard it, brother. You heard it there first from the source. My God. Speaking of which, listen, and I know that this is one of the things that folks enjoy when we don't just talk about wrestling, we talk about other things that are happening. You're a big music fan, I'm a big music fan, but you've made it clear that the more current hip hop, not necessarily your flavor, and I agree for the most part, but something happened in the music world that is historic. We have Drake, who for the past 2 years, people were dissing him and all that other stuff, and he had to sue his label and go through all kind of turmoil and what have you. Well, he finally came back with not one, not two, but three albums. And all three of those albums debuted number one, two, and three on the Billboard charts and all the streaming sites, iTunes and Spotify, all that. 42 total tracks, Devon. And every single one of them are in the hot 50. So can you imagine you put out 42 songs and out of the top 50 songs in America, you have all 42 in that category. Just dominating.
Well,
Dominating the whole damn
well,
joint.
good for Drake. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. It reminds me of when Tupac got out of jail and he did that double album, and
Yeah.
that was a tremendous feat for Tupac, especially coming out of jail, going through what he went through, and being able to go to Death Row and create those that two album that he did with Suge. So Drake doing all of that and making it. Congratulations to Drake, and it only proves one thing: regardless of what people might think of you or say about you, only God has your path. So regardless if people think you
Mm.
suck or what have you, again, he's the one that's going to lead you where he needs you to lead, the way he needs to lead you. And apparently he's led him to where he's back on top again, stronger than ever. And my hat goes off to Drake. I don't really listen to his music like that. Every once in a while I'll catch a song that might catch my ear, but I'm not a big Drake fan. Again, I don't really listen to today's hip hop the way I did back in the early millennium. Of course, the all through the 90s and the 80s. But there are some talented artists out there. And it's not, I'm just biased because of the sound of the 80s and 90s and early millennium is what I miss and what I enjoy. I'm not too big on the sound today, but there are some artists, like I said, that I can get with in terms of a song here and there. But the majority of my playlist is old school.
Yeah, which is understandable. And I think everybody, for the most part, is like that. As you get older, it's harder to connect with certain things, including certain more popular music of the time, because it's not your generation. They're not talking about things that you can relate to at this period in your time because you're a grown man. You know what I mean? You're not out chasing women and fussing and fighting with people and carrying on. Like, no, you're running your businesses, you're taking your kids to school and picking them up from school, you're going to your kid's wedding, like you're doing things that are just different because you're in a different period of life.
Absolutely.
But at least you can acknowledge and respect the work.
Hmm.
And I'll say this, and this is why I bring it up, because I think that we have systems in place to keep people in certain levels. And you and I talk about this often,
Hmm.
where, folks may have taken you for granted in a lot of ways and are shocked that you have the audacity to not only be a Hall of Famer in wrestling. It's like, okay, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer in wrestling. Great. That's all he can do. But you have multiple businesses that are successful. So it's like, oh, wait a second. What is he doing that for? Oh, okay, fine. You're a 3-time award-winning podcaster now. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. This guy's like, you're not supposed to do that, Devon. You're just supposed to be the guy that, your limitations are set in my mind. You're not supposed to exceed what I think you can do. So people take you for granted, and you outshine them, and you show them at every single turn that you're not limited by what they think, right? The sky is the limit for you, which is fantastic to see. So Drake has been fighting against the entire music industry, which are controlled by people who don't look like us, and they got different zeros in their bank account compared to us, and they have a vested interest, just like with Michael Jackson. They had a vested interest in keeping him from achieving more, because once he gets up into those rooms, he might have to kick some of them folk out, you know? And I think that that's a concern with Drake as well, where he's realizing that he doesn't need those record labels in order to be successful. He can put out a project and push a project himself. And because it's quality music, the fans will find it and consume it, and I think that that's a threat. So a lot of people, they've gone for the banana in the tailpipe, as Eddie Murphy would say. Drake is not from America. He's from Canada. Drake is mixed. He has a black father and a white mother. Drake did not grow up selling drugs. He did not grow up in a gang, but yet he's the most successful hip hop artist of all time. And I think a lot of people hold these things against him. The fact that he's not the traditional motif of what we want a hip hop artist to be. He's different. Well, Devon, you grew up in the projects and you had a pretty challenging life that you had to fight and claw and overcome and break some cycles. And the beauty of that is you have a lovely family that have not had to struggle the same way that you struggled. And you've stated it on this show that you're motivated to, give your family a life that you didn't have. You want them to have better than you had. And you've done that. I feel like Drake is one of your kids. Drake is the bright byproduct of parents who struggled and who gave their child as much as they could possibly give that child. And that child is a gifted child. And that child took what was given to them by their parents and has gone the extra mile and has achieved. So when I break it down that way, Devon, how does that affect your impression of him when you think about it from that perspective?
Well, everything I talk about is from a biblical standpoint. God knows what he's doing. You're going to go through the trials and tribulations. You're going to get those that are going to hate you, that's not going to like what you're doing, that's going to badmouth you in every way, shape, or form. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Bible says God will seat you at a table with your enemies and have you shine in front of them. And that's exactly what's going on right
Mm,
now. He's sitting up there, he's shining right now. He's smiling from ear to ear because he's done something that people said that he couldn't do or they didn't care for. Guess what? You don't have to care for it because the next person might care for it. And this is something that I think Drake is really, I think he understands that model because regardless of all of the people that badmouth him, I mean, look at what they did at the Super Bowl, you know, and you can't tell me that that brother wasn't hurt from all of that. I mean, the bickering going back and yeah, the bickering going back and forth, over that, slandering his name and doing all of that. Now who's laughing? Be patient, be still, and know that he is God. And that's exactly what he did because he didn't respond after that. He left it alone. He refused to respond. Good for you, Drake. Good. You know, because he went back in that studio, started making music, and now we're talking about it to today. Those same people that
yeah.
did what they did, said what they said, where are they?
They're trying to walk back now. They're trying to walk. Hey, Drake, I didn't mean it, man. I thought we were friends.
Yeah, that's like you with the center from San Antonio. I didn't mean it over. I didn't mean it.
Oh, don't start.
I didn't mean it.
Don't
Devon
start
had
that.
put me up to it.
Don't do that. Don't
Hmm.
do that. No, no. Wemby knows what's up. I tagged him. I tagged that boy because I want him to know what I said. I ain't hiding. I want him to know what I said about him. 2 feet taller than me. Who the hell is
Yeah.
2 feet taller than me? Who told you to do that? Please don't get me
He said,
started.
who told him to
Come
do that,
on,
to be
man.
2 feet taller than you? That would happen to be his mama and his daddy. The two people that conceived him and made him who he is today.
Well, they should have checked with us before they did that because I don't like the fact that I got to look up to this guy beyond anyone I've ever looked up to. Like this is crazy. 7'6". What?
Listen,
Come on, man.
I'm sure people said that about
Come
Andre,
on, man.
7'5", 500 pounds. What? Getting into
Yes.
wrestling? And somebody had the nerve to say, I saw an interview, 15 years undefeated. Okay. Yeah, he was 15 years undefeated. Okay. That wouldn't be in the real world. Let me tell you something. You have no idea just how big and powerful Andre was. Andre was one of the biggest individuals that ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring. And if Andre wanted to kill everybody, he could have.
Yeah.
With the exception
Yeah.
with
Easily.
the exception of Bad News Brown, from what I heard. But
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
There seemed to be
But
some
you know
beef
what?
there.
What do they say? No matter how big and bad you are, there's always somebody bigger or
And we
badder,
all
right?
know Bad
So
News Brown was a bad man.
he's bad. Shut your
Yes, he
mouth now.
was.
Come on.
Oh, I met him, and man, you talk about. The same respect I had for Ron Simmons, I had for Bad News Brown. And I remember Bad News sitting down. He was like, "Hey, young blood," just that old school mentality, that old school language. "Hey, young blood, you mind if I come sit next to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "By all means." He was like, "How you doing?" "Bad News." I said, "I know who you are, sir." And I was like, It's an honor to meet you. For you to even be talking to me." He started giving me the lowdown of the business and things like that, especially being African American in this business, what I need to watch out for, the people I need to watch out for. I mean, he was very instrumental in telling me things like that. He also gave me, some insight on his WrestleMania match with Piper and how he didn't know Piper was going to come
Mm,
out with the half black face. He had no idea. He didn't see Piper until he came to the
yeah,
ring.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hmm.
That's absolutely crazy. I tell you, that's crazy. You know, Piper's lucky he didn't kill him
Yeah, pretty
because
much.
that's crazy. You know,
But
that's crazy.
nobody liked to mess with Bad News. He was truly a bad man.
Yeah, shout out to Bad News Brown, who's finally in the Hall of Fame. Thank God.
Yes.
Well deserved, man. Please, well deserved. That man is so inspirational.
I mean, just the talks that he had with me, man. I mean, I can go on and on. When I tell you, he really let me know how this business was and how it was when he was in it. And he would say, he said, "Young blood." He was like, "Watch out, watch your back, trust nobody. I don't care if you sit down and break bread with them and things like that. Sure, it's horrible to feel that way, but when it comes to money, everybody, it's like DiBiase said, has a price, and they will turn on you in a heartbeat to get it if they have to."
And it's true.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's true. Those are the breaks, but it's true. It's tough out there,
Hmm.
man. But you know what? The sooner you get hip to the game, the easier it is to
Yeah.
navigate. You know, one of the things that I always tell people, especially folks that I mentor, is that try not to take it personally when people do you wrong, especially in business, because there's something wrong with them. It ain't even about you more often than
Yeah.
not.
Pretty much.
It's all about it's their problem.
Hmm.
It, it's whatever is rotten inside of them.
Yep.
So what you can do is be aware and try to maneuver and navigate in a manner that you protect yourself. So even when they make their move, you're a safe distance away from whatever they could have done to you. You know, that's it. That's it. Uh, Speaking of that's it, and I want to close with this. WWE, they bought AAA, as you know. TKO bought AAA, and it's under WWE's banner per se. And they have the Undertaker there. He's doing the booking and what have you, and it's really starting to have a resurgence as a wrestling company. AAA is hot right now, and two of their hottest stars are under a mask or were under a mask as El Grande Americano, which started off as a joke. Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser started off as a joke. Gable got injured, so that's why Kaiser had to fill in and be that. And then Gable comes back, and now those two, they have this big war with each other and what have you. But what started as a joke turned into one of the biggest angle in all of wrestling. And the Mexican fans in particular, they have taken to this whole El Grande Americano thing, especially the Kaiser version of it. They basically adopted the guy. Now, to his credit, he knows Spanish and he can speak Spanish fluently. He sings, Mexican songs, and he has shown their culture the utmost respect. And obviously, he always puts on a great show in the ring, and we know Gable does as well. But what's your take on this? Kaiser's ability to basically be the biggest name in Mexico right now as far as a current wrestling talent, despite the fact that he's not Mexican.
Well, I will say this: it just proves with the right booking, you can book anybody and make anybody a star. But you just have to have the right booking. Have somebody that knows what they're doing. Apparently, someone who was in charge of this angle knew exactly what to do and how to get it over, and it got over huge. I'm
Huge.
still yet to see the match because someone sent it to me, so I'm gonna take a look at it today. But it got over huge, and you know something? Kudos to those guys for making it what it is. So again, you don't have to be Mexican, you don't have to be of Latino descent. You know, put a mask on, and it's not. Although it's their culture, and that's exactly what they pride themselves on. But put a mask on and become a good wrestler, storyteller, and all of that. Have the right booking behind you, and you got it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on now.
And respect the
You know,
culture.
they did a yeah. They respect the culture. They did a great job, and it's going to be sad to see it end. I'm sure, hopefully, that they're looking to take it somewhere else. In other words, they're looking to further the storyline. If not with those two, then something else a little different. That could probably still pop the crowd the way it did. So I'm looking forward to see what they do next, and I'm excited for it.
I love it, and I love the diversity. I love the options. I always say this: when I grew up in the early '80s, I was fortunate enough to have cable, so I got to see different types of wrestling all the time, and that went away for a long time, unfortunately. And now in this digital age, where we have access to everything, I feel like I'm back in the '80s again, where I could see different types of wrestling. But I love the fact that
Hmm.
WWE has so many different options and so many different types. You can watch NXT Evolve, you can watch NXT, you can watch Raw, you can watch SmackDown, you can watch AAA. You have all these different things, and these are different rosters for the most part too. So you really get a chance to see a variety of wrestling, something for everybody, and I just think that's healthy, and I love it. I really do. So for anyone complaining that there's too much wrestling out there, go watch that El Grande Americano blow off match there, mask versus mask, Ludwig Kaiser versus Chad Gable, and listen to the crowd and watch the emotion and the way that it ended and what have you. And you tell me that there's too much wrestling after that. Give me a break. Give me a break. You know, it's lovely. That's all I got to say about that. Listen, Devon, what's the best way everyone listening can keep up with you, especially online? Because you're on tour, man. You going to Canada. You're all over the place. What's the best way you can keep up with the Devon World Tour?
Yes, I'm going to be again this Friday, Saturday, Sunday with Bubba at the Niagara Falls Comic Con in Niagara Falls, Canada. You can also read up on everything that I'm doing on Testify Devon on Instagram, as well as Testify Devon on Twitter. And again, my Facebook is private. I don't put any social media stuff like any advertisement or things like that. Just close family, friends, and pictures. Um, Other than that, you can check out my YouTube channel. Uh, it's Devon Dudley YouTube channel. Check it out. Like and subscribe to the channel. And let me know the content that you would like to see on the channel as well. You can also go to my Devon Dudley merch page on Instagram and check out the merchandise we have on there. Tell us what you like. DM us, and we'll send it right out to you. So, contact us there as well.
And folks, as always, Duke Loves Wrestling on Facebook, on X, Duke Loves Wrestling, gmail.com. Let me know what you think of the show and all that good stuff there. Once again, shout out to my man, Lavelle Porter. He just celebrated his birthday. I know, Devon, you and I, we highlighted and paid respects to his father, who, unfortunately passed away suddenly. That was a couple weeks back. And now Porter celebrated his birthday, Lavelle. So his spirits are up. He's doing well, man. He appreciated the way that we gave a tribute to his father, because we didn't have to do that. So the fact that we took time to do that, he really, really appreciated that. I want to make sure I told you that there, Devon. So thank you, Lavelle.
Yeah, my prayers and thoughts are with him.
Yeah,
My
seriously.
prayers and thoughts are with you and your family.
Yeah, hang in there, brother. We love you, man. And just everybody out
Absolutely.
there, I just want to remind you, everybody, no matter what's happening in life, just remember, tomorrow's a new day. So please be kind to yourselves and then be kind to others. Because as you hear with me and Devon, that's all we bring to the table. We have fun, we joke around. It doesn't mean we always have the best day. It doesn't mean we always have the worst day, but we try to put it in perspective because tomorrow is another day. So I'll say that. What's your word of the week there, brother?
My word of the week will be don't listen to anything Duke says about him and Wemby. It's all a lie, and the truth shall set him free one day.
I don't want to testify to that. Okay, I don't want to testify to that.
You're going to have to be if he takes you up on the offer. If
Well,
he takes you up on that
stay
offer,
tuned. Stay tuned. Wemby, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Jack.
As you probably have figured out, I am currently sitting in my happy place, Goldberg's garage. Now, I try to spend as much time here as humanly possible, but it's inevitable that I got to pack my bags and head out to the public. So, without further ado, my last appearance on the books for 2026 is coming up. June the 6th, St. Augustine, Florida, River City Wrestling Con. Make sure you're there so you can be next.
Strictly for the culture every day. Step in style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so defined. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In this fashion, you'll touch the sky. Strictly for the culture, brand so fine. Dress to impress and show your shine. Strictly for the culture, every day. Step in style in your unique way.
Visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca.
Backstage whispers and the crowds roar. From matching giants to legends of yore. Devon's wisdom and Duke's keen view. Every episode feels like it's brand new. Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never